In Pittsburgh, dance fever in the home of the Blues as the Rams get down and the Bears get up for their meeting in St. Louis. Alvin Harper makes a big splash at the big sombrero against the Skins. Emmett focuses on the job at hand as the boys face off with Buddy to show him who's number one. Steve Bono and the Chiefs look for number 4 in the dog pound. Will Junior and the Chargers give John Elway some early season headaches? So relax. Kick off your shoes because ESPN's NFL Primetime is next. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. Welcome to Week 4's edition of NFL Primetime. The first bye week, but no buys for us for sure. We can't wait to show you what happened in Week 4. Tom Jackson. Bill, what are we going with today? Bill Pedo Pan is with us. Tinkerbell also will be making an appearance a little bit later on in this edition of Primetime. Two teams trying very hard to improve and showing some signs of improvement. Looking for better days. The Redskins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers met for the third time in 12 months. Skins Bucks at the Big Sombrero. Here we go where it was hot. How hot was it? Over 100 degrees. Second quarter, 3rd and 6, and Gus Farad incomplete. But the Skins have a field goal attempt. Eddie Eat, Drink, and B. Murray, no good. Missed opportunities for the Skins today, although earlier Murray kicked the field goal, lead it 3-0. Skins next drive, Farad for Coleman Bell. Gunned, but overthrown. 11 plays, 73-yard drives results in a field goal for Eddie Murray. He had 2 field goals. The Skins lead at 6-0. In the third quarter, Tampa Bay on the move. Trent Dilfer to Eric Rett. Rett had a couple of big games against the Skins last year, a 12-yard gain. 3rd inches from the 9. Eric is into the Rett zone. Touchdown, and the Bucks lead at 7-6. A 100-yard day for Eric Rett. Had 104 yards on 27 carries. Redskins driving. But Farad just loses control of the snap. It's loose. It's a fumble. And Santana Dotson has it. Oye, come over. The Bucks lead at 7-6 after 3. In the fourth quarter, here come the Bucks, same drive. Trent Dilfer. First game as a Buck. Alvin Harper. Alvin. Is it a touchdown or is it out of bounds? Tom, what is it?
Well, the ruling here was that he had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but Darrell Green forced him out. The referee gave him the touchdown.
All right, and Alvin first saw the incomplete side, then he said out of bounds. Oh, wait a minute, and he's thrown out of the game, so he's played a half a game so far as the Bucks. Very scary moment. Charlie Dimry wants to hit Farad, but he's hit by his own teammate, Barney Bussey. Everybody quiet. He was unconscious, but fortunately, X-rays negative. A jammed neck. He was walking around later in the locker room. That's good news. Late fourth quarter. Farad to Henry Elliott inside the 5. Skins looking for some good news. They're down 14-6. 4th and goal from the 2. Farad. Michael Westbrook. He catches it, but he's out of bounds. But he's interfered with Tony Stargell. So 1st and goal at the 1. Farad. Cedric Smith. It's a tap. Incomplete. 1st and goal again. It was a penalty anyway, but I mean that would have been a touchdown had he caught it. 1st and goal again. 9 seconds to go. Farad. 2. But it's Martin Mayhew, the former Redskin, who sneezes in his former team's face. Mayhew's intercepted with just seconds to go. And the Buccaneers stop the Skins on the 1 line. Buccaneers beat them by the count of 14-6. By the way, Murray with 2 field goals, 6th all-time with 305 passes. Former Jets, Jim Turner and Pat Leahy. But Tommy, a weird scenario with 13 seconds to go. The Redskins have the ball on the 1-yard line, needing a touchdown. But with no timeouts, they can't run the ball. We need 1 yard, but we can't run the ball. So they had a touchdown, but then he dropped it.
Yeah, in the case of the Bucks defense coming up big again, especially at the line of scrimmage. Eric Curry, Santana Dotson, who had a fumble recovery and a sack on the day. They came up big. You throw in 100 yards from Eric Rett. It gives you some consistency with the running game and let Trent Dilfer get comfortable at the quarterback position. Now they look like the new Bucks.
The new Bucks, which they had a sellout crowd last week. Some empty seats here, but
that's right.
Hey, the Bucks, after 4 weeks, are 2-2. We go inside the numbers. And we told you about Eric Rett into the red zone against the Redskins. Against the Skins in 3 games, 90 carries for 360 yards and 4 touchdowns. The whole Skins team rushing against the Bucks in the same games, 178 yards. Rett better than the Rett Skins, at least the last 3 games. When we continue, Giants and Saints. Somebody's going to get off the schneid. Cab Calloway. Could Chris catch a cab to the end zone. We'll see.
I cannot believe we're going to this game.
Come on! Game starts in 20 minutes!
Randy, here we go!
Oh, my...
Woo! I'm coming!
What is it there?
He's looking good!
What a geek.
Let's go.
Be a fan, not a fanatic. Look your best in Lee Sport official NFL apparel, licensed by the NFL, NHL, NBA, and Major League Baseball. Lee Sport, the brand for fans like you.
Game time!
These guys are persistent.
Well, they're no match for the world's first sport utility wagon.
Oh, really?
All-wheel drive Subaru Outback's got more headroom than a Cherokee.
Uh-huh.
The ground clearance of an Explorer.
So you said.
Ride smooth as any car.
Got any more of those tidbits?
What, like more stability in a turn than a Chevy Blazer?
Sure, that'll do.
That's why Subaru Outback. World's first sport utility wagon.
We'll take care. Can I help you?
Yeah, Coors Light, please.
In the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Shadow from starlight, softer than a lullaby. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado.
Plenty to come at NFL Prime Time. Chris Miller and the Rams, could they complete a perfect September? They're against the 2-1 Bears. What happened?
Just look for the sign. It's Chevy clearance time.
The best time for Best Buy is Chevy clearance time, especially for a Best Buy like Chevy S-Series. With more power, more room, and more payload than Ford Ranger. And now take advantage of a special Central Indiana offer on S-Series. Just $169 a month. The best time for a Best Buy is now.
It's Chevy clearance time.
But you've got to hurry. Chevy clearance time ends soon at your local Chevy dealers.
It's been called a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. Automobile Magazine called it an all-star. J.D. Power and Associates called it the best in its class. We just call it GeoPrism. And now you can call it yours for just $199 a month with no down payment. Now, Toyota calls its version a Corolla, but for $545 more, we'll call you later. Get to know GeoPrism. $199 a month with no down payment at your local Chevy dealers.
I really get a pump jumping out of balloons with bungee cords on or riding a motorcycle at 100 miles an hour with my head tucked over the handlebars, not being able to see anything. That is definitely an adrenaline high. Knowing that your life hangs this far between life and death. You know, you get those endorphins popping, that incredible feeling, that rush. Kind of like being on stage. It's definitely escapism. I never really had experienced true Zen, but I'm hoping me and my Ducati will get there.
ESPN 2, people who do.
The Chicago Bears and the St. Louis Rams. The Rams are trying to go 4-0. And remember, this is a team that had not won 3 straight in the 90s until their first 3 games in St. Louis. These are the Cardinals of St. Louis. Could they make it a perfect September against the Chicago Bears? And here we go from Busch Stadium, where sellout crowd again of 59,000 plus. Watch Eric Kramer. Toby Wright pick it up. And I'll tell you what, if you can't call at least right, Toby Wright makes it right. 73 yards, touchdown. Another defensive touchdown for the Rams. 7-0 St. Louis, Tom.
Yeah, Chris, and both of us were wondering here, what was Kramer going to do with this ball? Had he picked it up, the thing to do, fall on it, recover it, play the next down.
And then Rashaan Salaam making his first career start, the #1 draft pick of the Bears. But watch the linebacker of the Rams, Roman Candle Pfeiffer, light into Salaam right here. Anthony Parker recovers for the Rams, results in a field goal, wants that salam exchange discussion. The Rams have a 17-7 lead, but Eric Kramer, 20-yard to the speedster Curtis Conway, having a good year. Conway's third touchdown of the year, and the Rams have pulled their lead is down to 17-14. Bears next possession, Kramer to the former Patriot Michael Timpson beats John Reese, and the Bears lead at 21-17 at the half. Georgia. I don't like it. In the third quarter, Jerome Bettis only had 14 yards in the first half. Bears did a great job against him late last year, but in the third quarter, Jerome Bettis buries his shoulder and then 7-yard run. Jerome Bettis, the battering ram, dicks his shoulder and then 6-yard run. Chris Miller, the screen to Bettis. Bettis looks for extra yards and then 11 yards. Sound effects courtesy of Tom Jackson. Georgia says, ooh, how's that ankle, big guy? Meanwhile, 4th and goal, Rich Brooks. This is what the Rams do. We're going to go for it. And they're going to score for it. Touchdown from Miller to former Patriot starving Marvin Cook. And the Rams lead at 31-21 in the fourth quarter. But Eric Kramer to Jeff Graham, who crackers his way in front of Keith Lyle and makes the catch for 47 yards. It's a 31-28 Rams lead. 4 touchdown passes for Eric Kramer. Scary moment here. Chris Miller is nailed by Vincent Smith. Miller had to leave the game. In comes the veteran, former Skin quarterback Mark Rippon, who knows what he's doing, Tom, although on this play, oops.
Yeah, first play goes back to pass. He's sacked here by Fontenot and Chris Zorich. An auspicious beginning for Mr. Rippon.
But he knows what he's doing. They held on to it. They get a field goal, 34-28. This is the overexuberance of youth. DeMarco Farr slams Kramer down. It's roughing the passer, and the Bears are at midfield down by 6 with 2 minutes to go. Kramer to Conway. But the Rams, boy, there's like always 3 guys around the ball. The owner happy. The Rams happy. The city of St. Louis is happy. The St. Louis Rams are 4-0. Let that sink in. The St. Louis Rams are 4-0 as they beat the Bears 34-28. Chris Miller, 21 of 31 for 231 with 3 touchdowns before he left with a concussion. He said after the game, Tommy, that he feels fine, but I have a heck of a stiff neck. So no word on their next start for the Rams, but despite the 4 touchdown passes, and you know what it is, Tommy, I think in the Rams situation, I mean, you do a little addition. People who come to the park, all right, people who care, youngest team in the league, coach is a gambler, coach is a college coach, couple of breaks, it's called momentum, and it's paid off.
Well, we always talk about the physical elements of the game, but there's an emotional ebb and flow to the NFL that we're seeing from the Rams. This is a team that plays with collegiate enthusiasm, and I think that translates on the field to swarming to the football defensively, never believing you're out of a game offensively. And maybe all the direct teams in the NFL ought to find a new city to play in where they haven't had a team for about a decade, and maybe it translates into going 4-0.
Well, they're fun to watch, and they're young, and they're just feeding off all that excitement, as you say, Tommy. We go inside the numbers for a moment. Miller time. And remember, the Rams have yet to make a turnover. Chris Miller, 10 starts at 94. Of course, a lot of that was in front of friends and relatives at Anaheim. 2-8. 4 starts at 95 for his old college coach, Rich Brooks. 4-0. 7 touchdown passes, no interceptions. The Rams now have forced 14 turnovers, and they've yet to commit one in the entire month of September. Wow. While the Rams, Bill Pito, are undefeated, the Saints and the Giants went into today's game at the Meadowlands totally defeated. And Jim Mora, Dan Reeves, not used to this stuff.
Yeah, but the Saints really haven't been that bad. The 3 losses coming by only a total of 9 points. The Saints, though, are off to their worst start since 1980, the year the Saints became the Aints with a 1-15 finish. Giants, meanwhile, 0-3 for the first time in a non-strike year since 1979. New Orleans quarterback Jim Everett has been a giant against New York, 6-2 lifetime, including the overtime touchdown pass to Flipper Anderson that led the Rams over New York in the 1989 playoffs at the Meadowlands. How about the Meadowlands this time around? Rodney Hampton, big day. Hampton, 32 yards here on the Giants' first drive of the ball game. It would be an 8-play drive covering 58 yards, capped off by Rodney. First rushing touchdown this year for the Giants. They're up 7-0. Back come the Saints. Their first play from scrimmage. Mario Bates. Look at Bates. Staying on his feet, 33 yards on the play. In the game, Bates 10 carries, 57 yards. He would later score to tie the game at 7. And then TJ, Dave Brown, and his good friend Heidi
ho. Cab Calloway catches a pass in his 29th straight game. Not an easy task in this run-oriented offense of the Giants. There he goes, a nice in-and-out move on Jimmy Spencer to pick up a first down.
Later, Heidi ho. We're in sync. Callaway beats Spencer again. Touchdown. Callaway 5 carries, 5 receptions, 95 yards. That score. Giants up by 7.5. Look at the numbers in terms of time possession. Solid for the Giants. Third quarter, Brown finds Aaron Pierce. 27 yards. Nice catch. First and goal for New York. On second and goal, Hampton in from the 2. Touchdown. Giants up 31-17. TJ, now, what do you have on Jim Everett's problems?
Jim Everett falling into some old habits, not stepping up in the pocket, feeling that pressure in his face. Here you see him throw off his back foot. The ball is almost intercepted by Felipe Sparks. Here he steps up, and something you won't see often, Vincey Glenn literally runs around the receiver, gets all the way in front of him before the ball is delivered for an INT, his second of the day.
Giants ball, Moore, Rodney. Tough 8 yards. Then it's Hampton again. In from the 3. Fourth rushing touchdown for him. That's a Giants record. 33 carries, 149 yards for Rodney Hampton, the ball game. Giants up 38-17. Hampton wouldn't be the only Giant running back to score. Did we see Dan Reeves smile? No. Tyrone Wheatley. Watch this stiff arm here. 19 yards out. Welcome to the National Football League. His first NFL TD. YES. Yes, yes, yes. Giants win. 45-29. They had 1 touchdown on offense coming in. They scored 6 TDs on offense in this one. The 45 points, the most for the Giants since a playoff win over San Francisco back in 1986. Dave Brown, 19 of 27, 258 yards and a touchdown. Everett, 19 of 32, 256 yards. But the Saints now 0-4. And as you guys talked about on game day, the Giants were planning to run, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, definitely. You know what? It just occurred to me, guys. Let's see. They had that Penn State-Rutgers game in the Meadowlands last night. What was that? 59-34. This was what, 45-20? Let's see. Carry the 3. 167 points. They warmed up the turf for him, didn't they?
Well, I said that this team was going to run, that the Giants were going to run the ball 50 times today. That's the way that Dan Reeves would get this team back on track. I lied. He only ran the ball 48 times. The 149 yards that Billy mentioned on 33 carries by Rodney Hampton. But I knew that Dan Reeves knows that the fundamental soundness of his ball club can really be dictated by the running game. As far as the New Orleans Saints, this is a team, the Giants have scored only 1 touchdown in their previous 3 games. They got 45 points today. I think that speaks to the weaknesses of that New Orleans Saints defense.
It certainly does. So the Giants get off the schneid before the calendar turns to October, when we return. Something you didn't see all last year. When the Pittsburgh Steelers played anybody, in this case the Vikings, they rarely fumbled. The Vikings made him pay. Stay with us.
My owner's a very caring owner. Takes very good care of me, normally. But he's not a real mechanic. Sometimes he slips up and he buys me a lower quality gasoline. But I know that he cares because every so often he pours a little bottle of that Techron concentrate, and that always cleans me out and gets me running well again.
Techron concentrate from Chevron. Just ask your car.
Oh, the Grand Canyon. What a Grand Canyon. It's times like these when you think about those closest to you. Think I'll call home.
Please say your name.
Homer!
Yellow?
Collect call from Homer?
No way, man. I only accept 1-800-collect calls. Give me the times, Homer.
Why, you little...
Dial 1-800-COLLECT. It's the way to call collect.
Gee, I bet this is a different guy than you met during the recruiting process, huh?
Well, last week, Pittsburgh Pro Bowl linebacker Greg Lloyd said in the papers that he would try and knock Dan Marino into next week. Of course, Lloyd wasn't malicious, and his hit on Monday night was not malicious at all, but yet, this time, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers that got a dose of their own medicine because it was the Vikings that put the whole team into next week. And here we go from Three Rivers Stadium. Warren Moon has played there 20 times before as a member of the Oilers. Robert Smith, and very soon he's going to be known as Shoeless Robert Smith. The Steelers gang tackled the shoe. Smith is gone. Touchdown, 7-3, the Vikes.
Robert Smith shows some great vision here as he cuts back initially after getting the football and then gets back to the outside. He has a nice burst once he gets to the corner. You very seldom see him not be able to turn that corner. He loses the shoe there, proving it must not be the shoes, Chris.
It is not the shoe. Hope those socks don't smell. 10-6 Vikes, 2 seconds to go in the half. Dennis Green has Reves kick a field goal. He misses a 48-yard field goal, but Gordon McCarter says 12 Steelers on the field. Bill Cowher says, wait a minute, there were not. We're going to count them for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down there, 6 up there, 7 on the line of scrimmage, 8 on the line of scrimmage, 9, 10, and there's 11 over there. Cowher says, wait a minute, I got pictures to prove it. But the call stays. This time the field goal is good, 13-6. And you talk about Cowher power. He says, look, here they are. You take the pictures. I'll autograph them for you after the game. In the second half, Cowher's ire would further be drawn because Bam Morris, it pops out. Corey Fuller picks it up after the Del Rio hit, gets into the end zone. 20-6 Vikings. It would get worse for the Steelers. First and 10 of their own, 22, Mike Tomczak to Charles Johnson, picked off again by the Florida State rookie, Corey Fuller. Vikes couldn't move it, but Tommy, then what happened?
Yeah, you're going to see Alvoid Mays at the top of the screen tell Andre Hastings to come his way so he can level Chris Walsh right there. Walsh would be okay after that hit.
Well, they did well on the special teams, but other problems elsewhere because Tomczak had the rough Monday night game picked off by Alfred Jackson. And Cowher says, uh-oh, I think we need to make a change. 2 plays later, Warren Moon would drop back. And all Chris Carter does is catch touchdowns. 27-6, Tom. They make a quarterback change. Jim Miller in for Tomczak.
Yeah, and he drops back. Jeff Del Rio gets the pick. He's going to lateral to Orlando Thomas. Look how he made sure Thomas was behind him before he gave him the football.
2 defensive touchdowns against the Steelers this year, 2 all of last year. Still in the third quarter. It would get worse. Jim Miller overthrows Yancey Thigpen. Orlando Thomas is there with the interception. It's a broken record. 6 interceptions, 3 of Tomczak, 3 of Miller today for the Vikes. Last year, the Steelers were intercepted just 9 times. 13 this year. 78 interceptions over the last 52 games. We got more numbers than we could shake a stick at. Bill Cowher knows all of them are bad. Here's the worst number. Vikings 44, Steelers 24. Robert Smith with a 100-yard day. Chris Carter caught 6. Warren Moon has passed the 60,000-yard mark in career passing combined NFL and Canada. That's 34 miles. Afterwards, Cowher went the mile to talk about the call at the end of the half.
Today was a debacle. For officials to sit there and not be able to count 11 people, and it's a debacle. It's embarrassment to the National Football League.
Well, that is true. I mean, we saw the pictures later, but yet
the other points.
Yeah, the other. What happened with the other 41 points? I mean, little did we know that Dennis Gibson knocking down the ball in the AFC Championship game and in the goal line would be the turning point for the Steelers last year, and as it's turned out, this year.
Well, I think the thing we need to point out is that this is a different football team than the one that played last year. When you consider the fact that this team is missing Barry Foster, Neil O'Donnell, Rod Woodson right now, I think that it's a different ball club, and so we're seeing different results on the football field. The thing that we have to credit is I think the Vikings for coming back off of that loss last week to the Cowboys. So give them credit, and the Steelers appear to be a team headed in the wrong direction.
Yeah, at least thus far, although it'll be an interesting practice week for the Steelers under Bill Cowher. As we go inside the numbers, you want more negative numbers for the Steelers? 5 turnovers they committed in the last 10 games last year, including their run in the playoffs. The third quarter alone, they committed 5 turnovers. They had 17 turnovers in all of 94. They already have 17 turnovers in 95. Add it up, spells 2-2. When we return, Ernest Biner and the Browns trying to show ex-coach Marty Schottenheimer how it's done. Browns Chiefs coming up.
Would that be paper or plastic? Sir? Sir? Paper? Plastic?
at least you know how to get the groceries home. The always dependable Accord from Honda. Possibly the world's easiest decision.
Research has shown that if you keep an animal in a small space for an extended period of time, he will become an animal. But put him in a big room with comfortable furniture, full kitchen, and a home-like atmosphere, and he'll become almost human. Something to consider on your next extended business trip. Residence Inn by Marriott. The next best thing to home.
The Maryland Terps are on the move. This week, they'll scamper to Atlanta to tackle the Yellow Jackets at Bobby Dodd. Maryland versus Georgia Tech, Thursday at 8, only on ESPN.
It's men called Rocky.
Marciano for the short right.
Tough guys.
We don't know what's keeping him up.
It's boxing's greatest.
I must be the greatest.
You get it all in the Hit Kit. 2 dramatic videos, both free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. First, you get history's greatest knockouts, hosted by Mike Tyson.
One punch to the body, and another punch to the head.
The former champ gives you a rare first-hand look at boxing's power brokers. Your thrills continue with boxing's greatest champions. Seldom seen footage puts you into the ring with the best of all time.
A crashing right by Lewis. Ali throwing bomb.
It's free when you order 54 issues for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now for your 2-pack Hit Kit, free from SI. Nothing packs a punch like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
When we continue, more highlights of the late games as it pertains, including the Eagles with their running game being up against the Raiders. Oh, the Raiders crush them like a grape.
They say when a cowboy gets thrown, he has to get right back up. Last year, I took my share of hits. I may have been down. But if you think I'm staying down, get real.
Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel.
This is a gold card. It can't grant you inner peace. I don't know. No card on the planet's more accepted, so you could go someplace peaceful. And with a credit line of at least $5,000, you'll have the freedom to relax. And freedom like that might be the path of true wisdom. So I guess Gold MasterCard can help you to see the light. Just remember to wear sunscreen. Gold MasterCard. It's more than a gold card. It's smart money. Look for your Gold MasterCard application and apply today.
Dad, wake up,
What?
Dad. Get up, Dad.
What is it, Jack?
It's Saturday. You said you would take me to McDonald's for breakfast Saturday.
Yeah,
and you
I
said
know.
I could have an egg McMuffin and a big juice. You said you and Mom would have pancakes and sausage and coffee. And you said you wouldn't go to work today. You said.
I know, but it's 3:30 in the morning.
Oh,
We got plenty of time, okay?
okay. I'll be back in exactly 10 minutes.
On the road again, going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again, and I can't wait to get on the road again.
And when you get on the road again, make sure you do it on Generals, because General has the right tires for all the roads you ride.
Sooner or later, you'll own Generals.
You hit the ramp at 52 miles an hour and fly 100 feet. Your mind says fear. Your mind says pain. Your mind says death. I don't mind.
All right, welcome back to NFL Primetime. Last year, the tone was set very early on in Week 1 when the San Diego Chargers went to Mile High Stadium and upended the Denver Broncos. The Broncos went 0 for September. The Chargers went all the way to the Super Bowl. This year, they didn't meet here until the last week in September at the Murph. But yet, with both teams 2-1, would the tone be set again? Here we go from San Diego. The fans streaming in over Coryell Pass. That's the newly named hill right near Jack Murphy Stadium. first quarter. The Chargers driving. Natron means business. Look at the big man churn upfield for 26 yards. Then Humphrey to Tony Martin. Stan hits him for 25 yards, and the Chargers moving against the Broncos. But then Humphrey's looking for Mark Say. It's picked off by Elijah Alexander, and it's Broncos ball. Terrell Davis, the second of 2 sixth-round draft picks for the Broncos. Davis takes it upfield for 22 yards. Then John Elway likes this guy with the good hands, and Davis upfield for 8 more yards. Then, this time he runs it up the field. He's got the strength of a Thurman Thomas, even though he looks small. Now he comes out, though, needs a little breather. But same drive, second quarter, back in there. Davis for 8 more. Looks like Natron means like, Tommy. That sets up Jason Elam with a chip shot to the Broncos close, but they only get 3. Remember that, only 3 deep. And although they are perfect in scoring inside the red zone of 3-0 Denver. We saw Natron meant business early. He's going to mean it again. And what speed he has outside for big guy Tom.
Yeah, he has great feet for a big man. Once you see him get outside, make that nice cut and get up the football field.
Big guy like that. Matt Snell is the only one that comes to mind. Now Means from the 3. He also has some serious power into the end zone. 7-3 bolts late second quarter. Second half, same score. Elway finding he has some time. Hey, of course, he buys a lot of himself. I don't know if he has lots of it. Now he has time, but forget it. Good coverage here by the youngster, Terrence Shaw.
A rookie Terrence Shaw showing a lot of confidence against Anthony Miller, just getting in his hip pocket right there as Anthony tried to give him the hitch and go.
And then back and forth in the third, Humphreys to Tony Martin for 12 yards. Then and out to Jefferson. Nice grab underneath. And then to Mark Say. Hey, say what? Make great catch, 3 plays, 3 different receivers. Then, you know what's going to end up with, Tom? Natron means business. Look at the blocking here, Tommy.
Yeah, and we're going to take another look at this, and you're going to see that everybody has to block on the power sweep game. The tight end here, Dwayne Young, and receiver Tony Martin, pinning people so that they give Natron Means a nice lane.
On a couple of plays, we saw Humphreys downfield involved with some blocks. Then, Means, same drive in the 4th, down to the 2-yard line, and you know what that means? It means a touchdown for the big guy. 14-6 bolts. They had a field goal, and their defense holds John Elway out of the end zone. Just limits Denver to 2 field goals. And the Chargers in a critical stretch as they go to Pittsburgh next week, and they have a Monday nighter at Kansas City. Then they host Dallas. So it's a critical win for them as they beat the Broncos 17-6. And I think what people have forgotten with San Diego, Tommy, is that they have a heck of a defense when you hold John Elway to 6 points.
Yeah, and when you look at their complete game plan, we're talking about a very tough quarterback in Humphreys. Natron Means is consistent now. He's starting to get those 100-yard gains and string them together. And the defense, led by Junior Seau, is as tough as any in the league. Throw in good special teams, good coaching by Bobby Ross. I think people tend to forget that this team is as good as it is. And I think that sometimes that's going to allow them to sneak up on people during the season.
Even though they represented them in the Super Bowl, the conference. Yes. Elway just 53 yards passing in the second half. Means 3 straight 100-yard games. 27 carries for $116, and you saw the 2 touchdowns. When we return, plenty more coming on NFL Primetime. Late highlights galore.
Apparently, AT&T and MCI and Sprint have decided that you can afford to pay for time you're not using because the big 3 all round up their residential rates to the next minute. The meter's running after you hang up. LCI International doesn't do that. If your phone call is 6 minutes and 12 seconds, you pay 6 minutes and 12 seconds, not 7 minutes.
Only LCI International makes long distance simple, fair, and inexpensive.
Why would you pay AT&T and MCI and Sprint for time that you're not using? It's like buying a dozen eggs and coming home and finding that 2 are missing. It's like buying 20 gallons of gas and finding out that they only gave you 16. Wouldn't you get angry about that?
Call LCI now, and you'll get 120 minutes for just a penny a minute on calls anywhere in the continental U.S. with your World Card Plus and Home 800 number.
You should get what you pay for. You should use LCI.
Jack's pretty independent. He can stand on his own by no means, you know, but some support once in a while helps anybody. Usually he knows what's going on most of the time, so if he asks for some advice, I'll give it. You know, being around Jack, he's a great guy to work for. just how much you learn being with the guy, you can't get sick of it. You really can't. It's just, it's great. Do I think there'll be another Jack Nicklaus? No. I don't think there will.
Boxers aren't born. Bobby Corey, Tony Tubbs, Terrell Biggs, Elijah Tillery. They're made. Frazier, Robinson Cuesta, Charles Murray, Iran Barley, Prince Charles Williams, England Thomas, Michael Clifford Hicks, Buster Rick Spain, J.L. When they were ready, they all fought on Top Rank Boxing. See who's ready now. Top Rank Boxing on the ESPN.
Welcome back in NFL Primetime. You know, it's getting very scary, Bill, because two head coaches in the Oilers-Bengals game, David Shula and Jeff Fisher, one 36 years old, one 37, they're younger than me. I mean, that's starting to scare me a little.
But they're older than me.
I know that, but I knew that.
Just to point that one out.
Thank you. I needed that.
But
you know what? Teams are exciting, or at least the teams are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, Cincinnati hasn't been so bad. 2 wins for Cincinnati in 3 games is significant. Consider that the Bengals won only 3 games the entire year in 1991, 1993, and last year. As for Houston, the Oilers haven't been the same team since Warren Moon was traded to Minnesota. In the 19 games without Moon, the Oilers are just 3-16. Let's take a look at the activity. First quarter, Chris Chandler back from the shoulder trouble. To Chris Sanders, a rookie from Ohio State, his first NFL touchdown, 7-0 Oilers. TJ, what do you have?
Well, Sanders does a great job of route running here against Mike Brim. You're going to take another look at it here. You see the spot shadow right there. There's a slow turn and a quick turn in the NFL. As you watch Brim right here, he's forced to make the quick turn, spins all the way around, but it brings him in too shallow to make a play on the football.
Late first quarter now, Chandler. Looking, look at this now. Derek Russell, 57 yards. 3 plays later. Chandler back to pass again. He's got Haywood Jeffries, 23 yards and a touchdown. 14-0 Houston after 1 quarter play. Early second quarter now. Chandler to Russell. Holds on, 17 yards. Later, same drive. Chandler to Rodney Thomas, 8 yards. 21-7 in favor of Houston. Bengals get the ball back, though. 3rd and goal at the Houston 8. Jeff Blake. Rolling. Carl Pickens, touchdown. Bengals down 7. Pickens now has at least 1 touchdown in 9 straight games. Oilers' next possession at the Bengal 46. A developing situation. Chandler to Sanders again. 46 yards. 28-14 Oilers. Look at the numbers for Chandler in the first half. 309 yards passing in the first half. Bengals first possession, 3rd quarter. Hold everything. We got Blake. Darnay Scott. Look at this magnificent throw and catch. 50 yards and a touchdown. Forget about the icky shuffle. That's long gone. We got the Darnay shake and bake. Bengals down 7. Houston got it back at the Bengal 31. Chandler to Russell. Hold on, TJ, flags fly.
Yeah, we take a look here at corner Roger Jones. You're going to see Jones come in right there and get the arm hook without looking back. That's going to draw the flag every time.
A Rodney Thomas TD made it, 35-21 Oilers. Late 4th quarter, 38-21 Oilers. Bengals with the ball. Blake. These two are something. 56 yards. Deep into Houston territory at the Oilers' 1-yard line. It's Blake. Tony McGee. We got a touchdown. Bengals down 10. Cincinnati gets the ball back. Still down 10 under 3 minutes to play. Blake to McGee, basically their last chance. They cannot afford a mistake. Oh, and they got a mistake. McGee fumbles the ball away. That was that. Houston wins. Final score, 38-28. Oilers now have won 8 of 9 in the series. Just Houston's 3rd divisional win in the last 10. Chandler, an incredible day. Remember, he didn't play last week with a bad shoulder. Look at what he did. 23-26, 356 yards, and 4 touchdown passes. Jets and the Falcons. Buckle your belts, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff George on the Falcons' first drive. We're going to roll. Bert Emanuel had a touchdown reception last week. We got Emanuel here. We got Emanuel. We got him going right to left. We got him still going. He's at the 40. Count backwards to 30. Stay with me. 25. 43-yard gain led to a field goal, 3-0 Atlanta. Jets struggle. Esiason throwing downfield. Terry Taylor with the interception. Boomer picked off twice in the first quarter. TJ Ironhead.
Yeah, and a lighter, more agile Ironhead. Here you see him make the break outside for 11 yards. Look at the footwork. Realize he lost about 20 pounds in the offseason. He wanted to be able to make the cut. He wanted to be able to get to the hole. There you see him for another 5. And then up the middle, he still has the power. He doesn't look real light to me, Billy.
Ironhead last week, 102 yards, 74 yards in the first half today. Great field position for Atlanta. Jeff George, oh, he fumbled the football. Donald Evans recovers. Jets escape. Second quarter now, tied at 3. Moore Hayward up the middle, 12 tough yards up the gut. He would later leave the game with a knee injury. Setting up this, George Lemanuel, 4 yards and a touchdown, 10-3 Falcons, Tommy.
Yeah, and I think people forget how great an athlete Emmanuel was. He was drafted by the Pirates and the Blue Jays in baseball, and he was a quarterback in college, but he makes a fine receiver for the Falcons.
Fourth quarter, Atlanta up 10. Jets deep in their own end. Oh, my goodness, to Fred Baxter. They're out of trouble. Esiason to Morrell. He's having quite a year. Nice move. Look at Adrian go. Hey, Adrian! Over midfield. Same drive. Esiason to Wayne Corbett. More Atlanta tackling. Corbett gets free. Poor Atlanta tackling, I should say. Corbett gets, look at this. He's taking off out of bounds at the 1 yard line. Didn't give him the touchdown. Out of bounds at the 1. Esiason looking to put it in. A wide open Fred Baxter. Oh, he dropped the football. He dropped the football. Still hope. Richie Anderson fumbles a snap. Kevin Ross recovers. Jets, Jets. Corbett wishing he could have taken it in. Jets last drive. Esiason down 10 here. Picked off by Ken Tippins. And the Falcons win 13-3. Kotite says, you know, why did I take this job? Esiason says, boy, it was a tough Sunday. 13-3 is your final. Esiason picked off 3 times. Ironhead, 120 yards on the ground. As I mentioned, he left the game with a sprained left knee. Jets 3-10 in their last 13 against the NFC. And Chris, Atlanta 3-6 now in their last 9 against the AFC. Drek game of the day. D-R-E-K.
No doubt about it.
Drek.
What a division, though. We have the Rams and Niners undefeated. You got Atlanta 3-1. Oh, my goodness, that NFC West. Oh, my goodness, the Jets. Well, atop their division, of course, are the Dallas Cowboys. Remember when Buddy Ryan used to send his guys in Philadelphia after the Dallas kicker? You do, huh? So do the Dallas Cowboys. It's amazing how that worked. These days, when the Cards meet the Cowboys, it's like Sonny Corleone pulling into the toll booth in Godfather 1. Odds, not good. Here we go. It's Arizona and Buddy Ryan at Big D. The Cards have lost 9 straight to Dallas. Troy Aikman, first series. 2-yard pass, Novacek, touchdown. Aikman starts out 6 for 6 for 97 yards, 7-0 Cowboys. Then it's Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith, odds good. Smith, good blocking. Does anyone ever touch Emmitt Smith? That's what I'd like to know. Within 20 yards of the line of scrimmage, Tom, it's amazing.
Yeah, it all starts with the offensive line. Here you take a look at this Dallas offensive line on the right side and watch them bury the Cardinals inside, giving Emmitt Smith a nice cutback lane to his right, and then he powers for that last 10 yards right there.
The next play, Smith. Boy, everybody in the field, blue, certainly the Cardinals were. Touchdown, 6 yards out. Emmitt has now 11 straight games with a rushing touchdown. So that ties him with Lenny Moore. Then Emmitt Smith explodes up the middle, 27-yard run to the 41. Tommy, I mean, what else can the guy do?
Yeah, and this was the very next play. He gets the dump from Troy Aikman right there. He turns upfield. He is the complete back. He is relentless going toward the goal line. There he breaks numerous tackles, and he carries the ball down to the 1.
On the next play, you think Emmitt's going to get the ball again for Barry Switzer? Oh, I think so. 13 carries, 88 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, all in the first half. Third quarter, it's 27-10 Dallas. And Dave Craig trying to bring the Cards back as he did last week against Detroit. Hits the rookie Frank Sanders across the middle. Look at him go to the 45-yard line. Then Craig to the former Jet Rob Moore. Moore is there between tacklers down to the 4. Then Craig to Moore, but Darren Woodson leaps, knocks it off his elbow, makes the Cards settle for a field goal. They're within 14, 27-13. 5.5 minutes to go. Craig. We've seen Rob Moore do it with a cast, now without a cast, with a one-handed grab, down to the 21-yard line. Craig to Moore, the 18. Then Craig to Moore. Touchdown. But false start called on Ernest Dye. Moore did have 9 catches for 154 yards. Craig tries to regroup, fires it in the end zone. Number 24, Larry Brown, picks it off. And the Cardinals cannot capitalize, trying to get within 7. It's still 27-13. 3 minutes to go. Emmett's still in the game. And it would cost the Cowboys because he goes down hard on the elbow. He left the game. X-rays on his elbow did prove negative. It's a bruised left elbow, status unknown, but X-rays are at least negative. His replacement, Sherman Williams, paints the Cards for a 44-yard touchdown. Look at him go. 34-13, Dallas leads it. Then the Cards score late to make it 34-20. But Emmitt Smith, before he left, 116 yards rushing, 53 yards more receiving. Dallas has not been 4-0 since 1983. And the Cowboys beat the Cards for the 10th straight time by the count of 34-20. Chiefs, Browns. Here we go at the Dog Pound, where Marty Schottenheimer certainly knows the fans can be unruly. The Chiefs trying to go 4-0 for the first time in the franchise history. Opening drive, Matt Stover, 38-yard field goal, no good. Snaps a streak of 23 straight. The Revees missed last week, so the streaks have been snapped, although Revees has the record. First possession for the Chiefs. Marcus Allen takes the handoff up the middle. Don Griffin, the former Niner, lands on Allen's head. Pokes him in the eye inadvertently, and Marcus sitting out the rest of the half. Browns' next possession. Vinny Testaverde, 3rd and 8 to Keenan McCardle. First down over the midfield stripe. Same drive. Leroy Horde. A big hole up the middle. Everett and company opening a big open. But Cleveland recovers. So they say, well, let's do some more running. Ernest Biner. Spin. Oh, look at Ernest Biner with the spin. Emerson Boozer-like hit 7-0 for the Natalie-clad Bill Belichick, who controlled the ball. His team did for almost the entire first quarter. Second quarter, 2.5 to go. Ernest Hunter. Quality of being Ernest. Fumbles from his own 27. Hunter, distraught, throws the helmet on the sideline. Steve Crosby says Stills and Nash, just relax here. Sweet Judy Blue. Well, that's not what he was singing. At any rate, the fumble results in a Lynn Elliott field goal. It's 7-3. Crosby keeps talking to Hunter, if you call it talking, and I think it was a one-way conversation. Early third quarter, Browns' first possession. Tom Tupelo Honey. Boy, he does everything. 2-point conversions, the fake punt, pass to Lewis Riddick. First down, Tom.
Yeah, and while Tupa is making his fake, Lewis Riddick at the line is making his fake. Acting like he's going to throw a block and then getting outside for the catch of the fake punt.
So the Browns have everything going. Vinny, rolling right. Look at the new mobile and nimble Vinny. To Andre Bad Moon Rising. Pushed by Dale Carter. Flags all over the place. And so Vinny says, you know what? I know you have only 5 catches in 3 games, but welcome to Cleveland. A Bad Moon Rising into the end zone. 14-3 Browns. They lead at 21-10 now in the fourth, 5 minutes to go. Steve Bono, does not have you, babe. Gerald Dixon picks it off. Returns it 11 yards, touchdown. 28-10 Cleveland. Chiefs' next possession. More of the same. Schottenheimer and Bono talk it over, but it didn't help. Second down, Bono. Picked off by Mike Caldwell. 20 yards, touchdown. 35-10 for Belichick. A conversation on the sidelines, you can't win them all. Both the Browns and the Chiefs are 3-1. The Browns and the Chiefs are each 3-1 as Cleveland wins by the count of 35-17. All right, Eagles and the Raiders. At Oakland, second home game for the Raiders in Oakland in 14 years. Tim Brown looking on as the Eagles get first crack at the ball, and Randall Cunningham, the West Coast offense, to Ricky Waters, first time back in the Bay Area since he left the 49ers, gets inside the Oakland 10-yard line. Oh, those Eagles look good in the first quarter. Charlie Garner cuts back, 7-yard touchdown. Just like that, 73-play-yard drive, 73-yard 10-play drive, I'm trying to say. Eagles fired up, they lead at 7-0. Now 10-0 after a field goal. Oakland tries the end around of the Rocket. But Andy Harmon is there to force a fumble. Greg Jackson picks it up. And anybody named Jackson, Tom, I like to know when I say he could go all the way. 17-0. The Eagles are running away with it.
Yeah, and as we take another look here, you see William Thomas do a good job of lead blocking right there on Jeff Hostetler. Boy, you love to hit those quarterbacks.
Boy, the Eagles are going to make a mockery of this game. They're just going to roll the Raiders, aren't they? No. Pat Swilling with the sack. And then Swilling able to get to Randall Cunningham again. So still some pass rush left in the former St. Lion. Even when Cunningham able to get a pass off, Waters catches it, fumbles. Austin Robbins recovers, touchdown. Game is tied at 17 just like that.
Yeah, you watch a replay here, you see Ricky Waters make the catch, and he really never had possession of that football.
Eddie Anderson with the big hit. Ray Rhodes is saying, let's try and shake it off, Ricky. Next Eagle possession, Pat Swilling. Again, sack. Third sack of the first half. Raiders would have 7 on the day. Now they lead at 20-17 in the early third. Anthony Smith this time from his defensive end spot. Strips Randall of the ball. Chester McLaughlin, the big fella, falls on it. That would lead to Jeff Hostetler. Derek Fenner, wide open touchdown, 27-17. 27 unanswered points. Rodney Peete get loosened up because Randall will be benched again by Ray Rhodes. But Rodney Peete, not the answer. Audrey Bruce makes the hit. Rob Fredrickson, the linebacker, picks it up. Everyone stops except Fredrickson. How can this happen? Touchdown. 41-17. 41 unanswered points. 4 turnovers on the first 4 possessions of the second half. It wasn't over. Vince Evans gives Haas a rest to Darryl Hobbs. Vince Evans, who threw touchdown passes, I think, when there was an AFL. 54 yards, 48 unanswered points. Evans still shows the arm. For Hobbs, well, they just keep trotting out more wide receivers. Big day for him. Not a big day for Ray Rhodes, as the Raiders spot the Eagles a 17-point lead and then score 48 unanswered points. The Raiders beat the Eagles 48-17. And Tommy, we've seen Cunningham, we've seen Pete. I'm calling for Jay Fiedler. I mean, at least they'll understand the offense because, what do they stop after the first quarter, the Eagles?
Well, I think it's a sign of a team that's not playing to win, but a sign of a team that's playing to not lose football games. And I think that the Eagles are the kind of team, especially with the likes of Ricky Watters and Randall Cunningham, great athletes, but you can get inside their head. I think they're worried too much now about how they're playing. As for the Raiders, as we heard in the highlight package, they keep trotting them out. Darryl Hobbs, Fredrickson, Pat Swilling has found new life now in that silver and black. It's amazing what that uniform does for players.
And just like we talked about the NFC West being big, look at the Raiders at 3-1, the Chargers at 3-1, the Chiefs at 3-1 in the AFC West. Well, we go inside the numbers. A lot of high-scoring games today, Tommy and Bill, and inside the numbers, just 10 games today. Total of 500 points, which means 50 points a game. That's the most in any weekend thus far. Last year, the whole season, about 40.5 points a game. So one week doesn't necessarily make a trend, but the last week of September, the defense really should have been back at school. 50 points a game. When we return, game balls. We're handing them out. And the Giants couldn't hand it to Rodney Hampton enough. We'll be back.
Silver Bullet is shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the Rockies! Coors Light!
Over 25 years ago, Honda built the first ATV. Now we've built our most powerful, the Foreman 400. Where do we go from here? Just about anywhere we want.
Lately, the Boston catchers had a lot of problems throwing out runners trying to steal third, especially with a right-handed hitter at the plate, the ball inside, and he has to step out and throw around the hitter. This weakness has been exploited by some of the slowest runners in the entire league. That's not to say the Cecil Fielders of the world ought to start testing his arm. Boomer, the last time the Tigers had a base stealer was Ron LaFleur.
It's men called Rocky.
Marciano for the short right.
Tough guys.
We don't know what's keeping him up.
It's boxing's greatest.
I must be the greatest.
You get it all in the Hit Kit. 2 dramatic videos, both free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. First, you get history's greatest knockouts, hosted by Mike Tyson.
One punch to the body. Boom. and another punch to the head.
The former champ gives you a rare first-hand look at boxing's power brokers. Your thrills continue with boxing's greatest champions. Seldom seen footage puts you into the ring with the best of all time.
A crashing right by Lewis. Ali throwing bomb.
It's free when you order 54 issues for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now for your 2-pack hit kit, free from SI. Nothing packs a punch like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Primetime Players is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the way to save on collect calls. Just dial 1-800-COLLECT. From any to any phone and save.
It's time to give out our game balls, and I'll tell you what, the Rams are 4-0, and it's a lot of names you may not be familiar with, but Roman Candle Pfeiffer lit a fire, made big tackles behind the line of scrimmage, also forced a fumble, which resulted in a field goal. He gets my game ball, Billy, from the Rams.
My game ball going to the Giants, Rodney Hampton, 33 carries, 149 yards, and a team record 4 rushing touchdowns. The Giants beat New Orleans 45-29, their first win of the season, Tommy.
And my primetime player going to be Robert Smith of the Minnesota Vikings, 15 carries, $115, 1 TD. He grew up a Steeler fan in Cleveland, Ohio. He had never seen Three Rivers Stadium until today. Now he's seen it and they've seen him. That's my game ball. We'll be back.
This could be your arm. This could be your back. This could be your stomach. This could be your thigh. These could be your shoulders. This could be your body. This could be the way. The Soloflex Muscle Machine. Call now for a free brochure. This could be your arm. This could be your chest. These could be your shoulders. This could be your thigh. This could be your stomach. This could be your back. This could be your body. This could be the way. The Soloflex Muscle Machine. Call now for a free brochure.
Later on baseball tonight, Jim Abbott tries to rescue the falling Angels in Arlington, while the Dodgers look to turn up the heat on the Rockies and hope to get some help from the Giants of all people at the stick. Peter Gammons, I'm Carl Ravitch. Baseball tonight at 1 a.m. Eastern.
All right, here we go. Our honor roll for week 4. Only 10 games, but a lot of guys rushing for 100 yards. Rodney Hampton led the parade. Game ball, 149 yards, 4 TDs. Ironhead, Shoeless Robert Smith, all had 100 yards. Elsewhere, Eric was into the red zone. Natron Means, hey, Emmett Smith, you have 100 yards, you win the game. It's very simple. That's the way it goes. Passing, the Bears, no, they didn't win. But Eric Kramer had 317 yards passing. The Oilers, they did win. The Bengals lost. So one of the 3 quarterbacks that threw for 300 yards got a win. Here are 100-yard receiving games. Jeff Graham and Yancey Thigpen and Troy Drayton. They had big games for their respective ball clubs. Other guys that had 100 yards receiving included nobody. So there you go. That's our honor roll for week 4. San Francisco 49ers try to stay undefeated, and Mike and the gang will get you ready on NFL Prime Monday. It's the 3-0 49ers at the 0-3 Detroit Lions. 7:30 right up until kickoff, Prime Monday here on ESPN. The San Francisco Giants in baseball were eliminated from the pennant race today when they lost to the Rockies 3-1. That means Deion Sanders now will not be involved in any more baseball games. The San Francisco Giants showing a lot of class, allowing him to leave the team with the last week to go in the season so that he can have arthroscopic surgery on his left ankle as soon as possible so that he can join the Cowboys after recuperating. So that surgery to be done soon. He is done playing baseball. We are done on this edition of NFL Primetime. We would like to wish those of you that are celebrating Rosh Hashanah very happy New Year. Of course, you should be in Temple right now if you're watching this show, but at any rate, a Happy New Year. Enjoy the coming year. That does it for Week 4 of NFL Primetime. For Tom Jackson and Bill Pito, I'm Chris Berman. Thank you very large. Coming up, we have the Grand Prix of Portugal. Grand Prix coverage coming up here, top of the hour. Enjoy.